And here we see Matt Grant coming out to the ring. This is an absolute David versus Goliath matchup. Warmack's got to have 150 pounds on Grant. It's going to be a great clash of styles. Grant's got a huge heart, but we'll see what's going to happen here. But Warmack can be absolutely physically dominant in that ring. Now Grant wants the mic.
Before Kirk Warmack comes out here, I've got something to address to each and every single one of you. You see, 2 months ago, I got the chance to return to Barrie Wrestling for the first time in years. And what did every single one of you do? You went and did intermission stuff. You didn't pay attention to the greatness that was in this ring, and Really? Yeah? Ricky was over there? What did you been paying attention to me? Pay attention to me! Each and every one of you is dead in my eyes now! Dead! Dead in my eyes now! I hate every single one of you! Now bring him out and let me make a statement!
Well, Matt Grant very upset with the Barrie Wrestling crowd, feeling disrespected at our show 2 months ago. I've not seen this side of him in quite a while.
Well, but he has a point. You know, he showed up, came up to Barrie, was ready to make his big return, and he found out he was wrestling during intermission. And people were buying pizza. They were getting Domino's pizza, buying T-shirts from other wrestlers, and Matt Grant, you know, was basically ignored by this crowd. So I don't like his tone. I don't like what he said, but he's got a legitimate reason to be upset, Michael. You heard it from the man himself. Warmack is war back, Michael.
It's just Mike, Jimothy. Kirk Warmack is back here in Barrie Wrestling. It is great to see. He was very impressive in the All-Ontario Cup. And it's good to see him make a return. It was unfortunately he had to step away from wrestling for a while, and it is really, really great to see him back here in the FLCC arena. Here at Give Till It Hurts. And Matt Grant, after talking tough, has slipped to the outside of the ring.
You would too if a beast like Warmack was in the ring with you. You'd be up to Aurelia by now.
I won my last fight by 2 miles.
It's going to be an interesting match. I think Grant wants to try to tire the big guy out. The longer this match goes, the more it will be in Grant's favor. But if Warmack gets those big arms around him, just like that, it may be a very short return for Matthew Grant.
A side headlock toss from Warmack, just firing Grant into the corner. Warmack smirking. As I mentioned, he has to have 100, if not 150 pound size advantage here.
Well, look at the size of the man's traps, his biceps. They're almost as big as Matthew Grant's waist.
And Grant showing some disrespect to Warmack, and then a series of chops and elbows that have absolutely no effect on Warmack. And Warmack's got a hold of him by the throat, just backs him into the corner. Going for a big chop, and then a slap right to the face from Matthew Grant. That might have just angered Warmack, and Grant wisely using the ropes to force a break.
Really not sure about Grant's strategy here. You do not want Warmack to snap on you.
Grant angers Warmack by spinning on him side steps. Grant looking to fly, huge suicide dive, but he got caught. And just dropped back and ribs first on the apron. There is no give whatsoever.
Look at Matthew Grant's back, already red and welling up. Oh!
And they're chopping the ring post by mistake with Warmack. He might have broken his hand. And Grant slamming his hand onto the apron. Then stomping down on the injured fingers. Warmack's hand might be seriously hurt. He's able to get in before the 10 count, but Grant taking full advantage of a series of forearm strikes to the back. And then a drop kick to the knee, taking the bigger man down. And then a step-up senton. Just a 1 count, though. Warmack might be in trouble here. Warmack back up to a vertical base, sends Grant off, catches him coming in. Nice counter by Grant. He's got a rear naked choke, almost a backpack rear naked choke here.
It's a great equalizer. The big man can't hurt you if he's gone to sleep. Crowd trying to rally Warmack.
And Warmack able to break the sleeper hold, just backing Grant into the top turnbuckle. Grant able to catch him coming in with a boot. And a nice back elbow right on the chops. Grant calling for tornado DDT. Oh, he got caught.
Well, he did kind of tell Warmack what he was doing.
Huge power slam from Kirk Warmack, just breaking Matthew Grant in half. And just a 2 count, Grant able to get his shoulder up. Warmack, not a textbook cover there, still might be feeling the effects of that hand injury from earlier in the match. See him trying to shake it out.
And 5 years away from the ring is a long time, Mike.
There, a boot to the arm. Warmack looking for the F5. This will be it if he hits it. Nice counter by Grant. Had it scouted in, a code breaker. Grant's looking for his double stomp here, I think. And he hits it.
This could be it.
Driving all the air out of Warmack. And a kick out. Grant looks stunned. He came down with all of his weight, that huge double stomp right to the gut, crushing the lungs of Warmack.
He's got to move quickly, though. He can't let the big man get back into this. Can't let him catch his breath.
Grant said he's got him now, but gets caught with the kitchen sink, and then a big knife edge chop. Although that hurt, that was the injured hand. Still coming into play there. Warmack unable to follow up after the big chop.
Well, when you're in a fight like this, you go on instinct, Mike.
Again looking for the F5, and again, Grant fighting out of it. And you're right, they are both fighting on instinct at this point. Both men taking a lot of damage already. Nice go behind by Warmack. Ripcord. Big spine buster. Arn Anderson smiling somewhere.
With a Glock.
And then just dragging Matthew Grant onto his shoulders. Good night, F5. Referee John Peterson can count to 100. Kirk Warmack, successful, victorious in his return to the FLCC Arena and Barrie Wrestling.
Well, he told us right off the top, Warmack is war back, and that was an impressive return.
Kirk Warmack.
And I think there are a lot of nervous people in the Barrie Wrestling locker room right now, seeing that this man is back, doesn't look to have lost a step, in great shape. I think there's going to be some title holders worried about running into Warmack's name on their next contract.
Very, very impressive performance by Kirk Warmack, and you're absolutely right. He is back not just for one show. He is back. He is here to stay. One half of the GOAT Brigade now going solo, and very impressive in that win over Matt Grant.
Warmack, for all his success in the early years of Barrie Wrestling, has never held a singles title here, and I know a competitor of his intensity and his pride would love to change that.